Hi everyone, and welcome to the Healing Spiral. So this was a labour of love with a small team of us that put it all together, and that would be myself as the weightlifter and co-creator, my snow dog, my blue healer that faithfully stayed with me through every shovel of gravel and every rock I collected, and of course my connection to my higher self and my spirit that guided me and helped me create this as I went along, because I didn't know what I was creating until it started creating. So first of all, it's lined with rocks. Now there's conglomerate, ironstone, all sorts of rocks that all come from the local area that I have picked up and moved around. So they've all come within, say, 3 kilometres, even 2 kilometres of this space. So it is all native to this area. The actual gravel underneath, I've got 2 gravels. The first one is a mixture of all sorts of rock, but it is a gravel loaded with quartz, and it does have a lot of petrified wood in it. So while it is grounding, it's an earthy energy, but it also is an amplifier. The quartz amplifies whatever's going on. So if it's good, bad or ugly, doesn't matter. The quartz will amplify whatever's going on. Now the next thing I'd like you to know is the outer core is of a bigger gravel. It's probably about a 12mm, whereas the inside's like a 5 to 6mm. So I've just come here, you can see both. And the reason for that is the outside circle, the first one you go around, represents our ego and the faces that we show to the world, all our programming and what's created our outer shell and what we expose to the world. Whereas the inside is a smaller gravel, it's finer, and it's our inner soul, it's our inner wisdom, and it's our higher knowledge. So once we crack through the one cycle outside of the ego shell, I suppose we could call it, the ego crust that we have to dig through to get to the really good stuff inside. So we go through once of the ego, and then we move into the inner worlds, into the inner gravels. And then when we come in, we're back to the basics. We're grounded in earth, and I was drawn to create a grid in the center. So that's I'll explain the grid in a moment. So first of all, we start by going in an anti-clockwise direction first. So we basically, I'll just step back out. So we're coming in here, and we're going in through, and we're going anti-clockwise. Now the first thing we come to is earth, and that's represented by, it's got hematite, and it's got a bit of driftwood there, plus petrified wood, some gum nuts or nuts from the trees, pine nuts I think they might be, I'm not sure. There's a celestial crystal there, but petrified wood. So they're all the earthy, all the crystals and elements that represent earth, and it also is located in the east. So earth in the east, and east is like new beginnings. It's where the sun comes up. So it's sort of like new beginnings in life, could be the new beginnings of each day as the sun rises. So that is our earth. Then as we're moving around, the next element we'll hit is north. The element is air, and that is represented with labradorite, selenite, amethyst, lapis lazuli. They're all air crystals that represent air. And air is based in the north, so it's basically like you're free as a breeze, just like the wind, to move forward into your life. So north is like, you might hear the term true north. So that's where you really want to go in life, and it's the direction you're heading in. So when we're moving into our true north, we're definitely on our right path, but we're always moving north in life, and these crystals just fantastic crystals to help you on that path. So then we're going to move around, and we're going to come around to water. So as my dams have all dried up behind, and the dams, this grid, this healing spiral was actually located so that we could access all these wonderful directions, and the main direction I wanted to start with was water, which was the dam behind us. So that also helped us lay out the grid. So west, as you can see, I've got the shells representing water. Rose quartz is one of the powerfuls. Shatukite there, it's a teacher crystal, but it also represents water. Rose quartz is probably the most powerful. We've got some agate there. Amazonite is another one that's fantastic for water. So water is in the west, and it is basically the sun sets in the west. So it's basically like endings. It can represent the past. So if you imagine you rise in the east, you start new things, and they finish in the west. So that's sort of like different paths we go through life, starting in the east, heading in the west. And we're going to move around to fire, which is in the south, and it's represented here. We'll light that candle when we start our meditation, and that is basically for fire. I do have a fireplace behind, but it's just a little warm to start one up. It's got things like pneumite there, malachite, carnelian, tiger's eye, obsidian, tourmaline, all sorts of things that represent fire. Bit of jasper there. So we'll light that fire. So in the south, that's in the now. So that's where we're standing now. And we stand in the south and we move forward to the north. But things that happen throughout our life are moving from east to west. So as we move forward, east to west moves over the top of us, and that basically sums up the cycle of life and how we keep going. So we just keep going through. Now, one of the basic rules is you must never cross one of these skeleton lines around here, the rocks. If you actually cross that, you're breaking your meditation and whatever that is you're trying to achieve here. So we never cross over. If you were actually physically on this spiral and you meet someone, basically the person going in would stand to the side and allow the person leaving to move past them. So we're moving around, and we're in the inner realms now here of our higher wisdom and all those things that just connect us to spirit, connects us to ourselves. So we keep going in. I'll just speed it up for the introduction. I don't want to deactivate it by crossing the grid lines. Now we're in the inner realm, and this basically, it is actually fully lined by petrified wood all the way around, and there is a lot of leaves that have collected there, which I love. So it's a really grounding space. And then I was guided to create this grid for today, but it is a grid that represents spirit. So while we have all our elements, our directions all represented, there is a fifth element other than earth, air, water and fire, and that is spirit or ether. There's lots of names, but that is our connection to all. So it's in the middle, because it's basically when we're in balance with all four directions, we're able to move into this space with ease and connect to our higher self, connect to our intuition, and life just cruises on pretty good. So here we have, there's labradorite, there is golden calcite, amethyst. I was led to put in some opal because that's a representation of joy. And it is just apophyllite. There's all my channeling crystals are inside in there, and lots of quartz to amplify the energy and move it through the space. So this is, we've got the local goats joining us. I don't know if you can hear them in the distance. So that is the spiral. how to use it. So one more thing. The reason I've got it in the direction of moving anti-clockwise first is because it's an area of release. So as you're entering, you'll go past each pointer, north, south, east, west, and look at those elements and see if anything those trigger anything for you. I will explain those later in the introduction to the meditation. But for now, as you're coming into this spiral, anytime you use a spiral created this way, and it was quite opposite to what other spirals have been done. There's goat over there. Oh, that's the big fella. And I actually went opposite to what a lot of spirals do, but I was led to believe through spirit, and I trust in their guidance, that coming in, I'm going to release everything that no longer serves me, or or something like will come up that I know that I need to work on to release. So as I come in, I'm releasing. I'm seeing what comes up in my mind, and I'll come into the middle, whether it be a healing I do in here, or whether I do a meditation or a drumming, whatever goes on in here that elevates me and helps me work with whatever I've released, lets me finally let go of it, send it off to spirit, send it to Saint Germain for transmutation, and then we go back out. And as we're going out, we're going clockwise, so actually building energy as we move into our true north. So we're moving out, building that energy, and the further we go, the stronger it feels. So that by the time we get all the way out, we're ready to step out of the spiral and move into our day, move into our life, move into our next moment, whatever that might be. So different things might trigger you as you go along. It looks quite level, but there's a few humps and bumps, and that could represent highs and lows in your life, or things sometimes we have to climb up a mountain to get to where we need to be. Sometimes we're rolling down the hill too fast. There's a bit of dung in the outer ring. The kangaroos have been around here doing their thing, so they've added a little bit more character. There's ants everywhere, so there's actually, they create little highways, and they're really attracted to here. I see we've got marks here, or I think that looks like, I reckon I've had a, no, I don't think that's kangaroo. I think that might be the goats have come through here. Sometimes I see snake marks. That place there is, like, for instance, I don't know if you can see it, but it actually drops away down, and you've got to be quite careful there and navigate it as you go through. So we keep going out, we're building energy. As we leave and as we enter, I have placed selenite and petrified wood here, and we step directly over that for cleansing and grounding as we leave, and we finish back here at Earth. So I hope you've enjoyed that little tour of the healing spiral and the energy that's helped create it, what you can achieve here. And if you ever get over my way, I'd love to bring you down here, because just standing here is makes my hands tingle. I can just feel the energy in the space, and it's really nice to just come down. I've set a bench down here, chair, and I'm slowly going to get instructions up over on the signboard over there. Still clearing a lot away for a lot of the what do they call it, galbur or whatever it is, and rubbish that humans have brought down here. There's been lots of glass and smashed windscreens and all sorts of things. So slowly we're cleaning up the space, cleaning up Mother Earth. And I just love the energy that's building here as we anchor her to Mother Earth. So thank you, and I'll see you soon.